So Azumarill, Pokemon with its huge power antics, was always finding success in the overused tier, but recently in Generation 9, it is struggling to make a dent in the underused tier. What has happened to cause this powerful Pokemon to fall off the wayside? What is up, folks, and I welcome all of you to a competitive Pokemon discussion video. Currently in Generation 9 there are 3 Azumarill sets that are noteworthy in the underused tier, that being the Assault Vest, Choice Bandit, and the old classical Citrus Belly Drum set. But no matter what angle Azumarill tries to tackle the underused tier at, it usually ends up coming short. And I've listed a number of reasons, in no particular order. The Fairy type is not a very common type in the underused tier. Fairy type competition, as scarce as the Fairy type is, it's very stringent. Tinkaton and Comfey are the premier Fairy types in the underused tier. Tinkaton has way better typing overall with the Fairy and Steel typing, giving it numerous resists that Azumarill can only dream of. And with Tinkaton's improved support move pool, Thunder Wave Antics, Encore, Stealth Rock, and the mighty swing from the Gigaton Hammer, always ensuring consistent damage, Tinkaton tends to get used more often. Comfey, on the other hand, is a Pokemon that is appealing to newcomers to the underused tier and aggressive style players, as the healing from the triage ability can ensure that this Pokemon can cheese its way to victory if the Steel and Poison types are removed from the opponent's team. So these two Pokemon are much easier to use, whether it be from the offensive side or the defensive support side. The underused tier houses a lot of near perfect defensive answers, Toxapex being not so common in the underused tier, but still being there poses a problem for Azumarill, as you'll find yourself often getting stuck. Clodsire is immune to Azumarill's Water Stab and resists the Fairy Stab with the Play Rough due to its poison typing. And both these Pokemon possess Haze, and not just specifically defensive answers. Azumarill is a very slow Pokemon, and there are many Pokemon in underuse that have the tools to resist Aqua Jet even at +6, and revenge Azumarill with their own attacks. Pokemon like Rotom Wash, Latios, for example, and even Ogerpon, Teal Mask, if they are kept healthy, can ensure that Azumarill can never switch in and threaten the entire team with the Aqua Jet sweep. With the generational mechanic of terrestrialization, underwear Pokemon have a field day, and it is only coincidence that all of the underwear Pokemon available in the unused tier tend to have higher defenses, or just massive HP pools that, no matter how strong the Azumarill can augment its strength, whether boosted by a choice item or belly drumming into the high heavens, the unawares, if terrestrialized appropriately, which is not an unusual thing to see in a battle, can more than make up for the huge power Azumarill imposes against your team. Another obvious reason is that in unused there's way too much water type and grass type competition. I include grass type because grass alongside water is the most common resist that people use to take on water types. Offensive Pokemon like Greninja, Quaquaval, and Keldeo, even though Azumarill could bop all of them, they can play the longer game. So Azumarill is outclassed offensively by its own water type competition, and the grass types like Ogerpon, both forms to be honest, Zarude, which is very bulky, and Serperior are all superior to the Azumarill, rendering its use not so frequent. We even have Hydrapple there floating in the background, which is a very common regenerating wall, can stave off any Azumarill that's not banded or belly drummed up. Hydrapple is not afraid to take on any Fairy stat. And the last offensive reason why Azumarill is failing is that, even though it's not so common, in underused, Psychic Terrain Cheese will always find a way to exist, regardless of what Pokemon gets banned, or as long as Holucha is legal, Psychic Terrain will always find a way and will always find a partner to appropriate itself with. There's no point in belly drumming up, sacrificing all your HP only to be outsped by every offensive Pokemon under the sun. And if you are defensive, the overwhelming nature of the Psychic Terrain Cheese can overpower the Azumarill in very quick fashion, to be honest. And Psychic Terrain's main goal is to just punch holes so that one of the Pokemon, only one, can mop the entire team. Alright, so we've mainly been discussing the offensive reasons why Azumarill is starting to suck in competitive Pokemon. But if you were wondering about any defensive reasons, besides what we've already mentioned due to perfect counters like Toxapex, Azumarill as a defensive Pokemon has no reliable recovery, so it cannot play the very long game. And in Generation 9, Cleric support has been completely removed as the Heal Bell and Wish combination is very scarce. And on very mediocre Pokemon, if it is on any Pokemon at all, if you do know any Clerics available in Generation 9, let us know in the comments down below, because I for one couldn't find one. But the fact that you cannot wish pass HP around the team, and if anybody on the team ends up getting debilitated with status, it is permanent. That makes defensive plays and playing Azumarill for the long game not something the Azumarill user can handle. And the biggest draw of all, I'll actually include as twofold, but the limited distribution of Toxic amongst Pokemon that used to have it as a mandatory augmentation to their move pool really puts a damper in Azumarill's sweeping capabilities. If you wanted to play semi-defensively or a bulky offensive style team, Toxic was the way to go to chip the opponent down slowly but surely, ensuring that when you eventually pull the trigger and belly drum up, Azumarill's sweep will not be cut short because you didn't have enough chip. Toxic putting the other team on a timer, ensuring that they can't play the long game, would have only helped Azumarill, and the fact that Stealth Rocks and Spikes are not as useful as they once were due to the influx of heavy duty boots is also what puts a damper on Azumarill's success. Although you can fashion a team with multiple knockoffs, reliable hazard removers, and then slap an Azumarill on them, that's a lot to ask for just to find a niche for a Pokemon that is dying in competitive singles. Folks, in this video we did not discuss every reason why Azumarill is failing. If you know of anything else that is making Azumarill belly flop, let us know in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Also, if you do not agree with me, let me know why you believe Azumarill has the potential to find success and is not a dying breed in Generation 9. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as we shall be doing a lot more of these. But until next time folks, we shall be U-turning out. Thanks for watching.